Okay, next thing up, we're going to look at our shape tool. So we've looked at the arrow tool, the select tool. So if I draw something, I can then click on the arrow tool and I can spin it, I can grow it, I can move it. And all of these layers are independent. So I've got separate control over each of these things, which is really amazing for our animations. Let's delete both of those now. We're going to look now at the shape tool because we can do the same thing with hearts, let's say, circles. I know that said square, but I got a heart because I was just on that a second ago. I've got stars. And if we click under more, we get some amazing stuff. So we get a factory. Let me make a new frame here and show you the factory. We get, again, we come up to shapes here, the circle and the square, go to more. I'm sure I've seen lorries. Let's see what this looks like. And if I remember correctly, let's see if I can change the color. So if I go to shape and I choose my fill color, then if I wanted to have a black outline but a red truck, I'm going to add a new frame. Let's see if this works. Oh, red fill, black outline. There we go. Oh, the other way around. So I've got a black truck with a red outline. That's kind of cool, actually. Let's try the other way around. So I want a black writing, sorry, an outline. There we go. So we can also change these after the fact, just like in Scratch. So I could change that to a blue truck, a green truck. Part of my animation could be the color of my truck changes color, perhaps. So let's delete these frames. I'm down at the bottom here, just clicking the dustbin icon. I'm going to come up here and just select everything on my first frame and get rid of it. Don't forget, if we come over to settings, then we can change what it says up here. So I'm going to type in my name and then click Save Settings. So the circle and the square. Let's click on square because we can do the same kind of thing. Let's do a circle because we could do our bouncing ball animation with this one. Let's imagine a ball is dropping from about so high. Then I'm going to duplicate that frame. Up. I need to just lift that up a touch here. I'm going to duplicate that frame. I'm going to come to the arrow tool, the select tool. I'm going to click on that. This is my second frame and I'm moving it down. And I'm also going to see if I can squash it in a touch. And you'll notice that my onion skinning is not on. So I'm coming up to click on the onion so I can see where I was because I want to maintain that center point. Now, as this ball falls, it's going to stretch just slightly. This is some advanced animation skills I'm teaching you guys here. So it's going to stretch a touch, and let's duplicate that frame. We're going to get the arrow tool still. So we only drew one. So we're squishing it in, and we're elongating. This is going to create the illusion of this ball falling fast through the air. Let's duplicate again. We're on the arrow tool still, so that's good. So we're moving quicker now. And about here is where we're going to bounce. So this next frame, I'm clicking on my circle. I'm going to start to expand out my circle and squash it down. Now this is going to happen quite quickly. So I'm going to still keep moving a touch down and then duplicate. And this one's going to be really squished out. That's going to be my bounce. So for this next one, let's come back up again. And we're stretching up now. Again, I'm centering each one. This time we're going to stretch up and along. And we're going to start our bounce back up now. And we're going to go small movements to start with, but then we're going to accelerate up and accelerate up, starting to slow slightly, starting to change shape back into our original ball. And maybe we'll go a touch higher so we come down again. Okay, let's see our bouncing ball. Boink, boink. So it's one drawing on one frame that we duplicate again and again. And if we slow that right down, so I'm coming up to settings, not settings, I'm coming to the speedo down at the bottom here, and I'm taking that to 1 frame per second, so that we're going to have one of our drawings or one of our pictures for every second. So let's see, frame 1, 2, 3, we're stretching, falling, bouncing, stretching out, coming back up, lifting off, jumping up, and then reshaping before we fall back down again. And this is just getting used to this arrow tool, the select tool. Now, you might choose not to do the ball, but that might be quite fun to do. You might like to, I'm going to come up here and click on new, click on OK to get a new one up. You might like to try, let's see, an animation with the heart. You might like to click on here and try an animation with this space rocket taking off, or the trucks, or you might have some writing appear in a speech bubble. You might have some text that comes in and something is said inside this speech bubble. You might write things like this coming through. But have a play with that, have a play with the shapes, and again have a play with the select tool, duplicating frames and moving each thing just a little bit each time.